A couple people. This is Michael Mollura, who composed the music. And this is Justin Hogan, who went around the world with me, helping me produce this project. Questions? Yes?
What do you feel is one of the biggest enemies in the so-called war, climate war?
I think the spin. I think the spin on both sides. Oh, what is one of the largest enemies in the climate wars? When you're saying climate wars, do you mean the debate that's going on between climate change, or do you mean climate wars are going to happen when all these people start crossing borders?
The debate now and what we're up against.
It's interesting. As we traveled around, really only in America is this debate continuing. Most of the people have moved on, and I think the debate is really healthy because these are really, really large questions that need to be answered correctly. And I think both sides kind of bring interesting points of view to both of this. But I'll tell you something really interesting that happened to us, and I wanted to get it in the film, but the United Nations screened this film to some leaders of the world in Copenhagen last month. And thank you. And when we were there, the debate between, in America seems to be all about money. Where one side is saying this is all about money, and the other side is saying we really need to go green to give our grandchildren a better world. And me and Justin had a couple beers with some folks from China who were pretty, powerful individuals over there. And they talked about this issue, and they said, you know what, it is all about money. But the difference is, the way you guys look at money in the United States and the way the rest of the world is looking at it is completely different. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he goes, make no mistake about it. The world is going green, whether America goes green or not, okay? Nothing would make China happier, this is what they're telling us, than for the United States to continue this debate for the next 10 or 15 years. Because if we sit on our hands, they will control the green revolution, and they will make all the money from it. So when we talk about, when the other side, that has a lot of, worthy arguments, talks about how our economy can't handle this and it could bring this country to its knees. These two folks from China brought a new angle to this whole issue and really made me look at this differently than I had ever looked at it before. Because, you know what, it is all about money. They continued to say that right now in China, 30% of their kids are getting engineering degrees, 4% in America. I mean, we were sitting there and it was almost like the art, the art of war, or Sun Tzu, the art of war. They actually knew more about us than we did. So, we really need to kind of start looking at this and this really doesn't have to do with climate refugees. I mean, the world is going to go green. Now, China may be making these wind turbines and solar power with coal-fired power plants that are building this stuff. I mean, who knows how they're actually going to do this, but if we don't get in this game, from a revenue source, it's going to challenge America to the likes of which I don't think anybody's really thought about. So, next question? Yes?
What gave you the inspiration to start this project, and how did your attitude change looking back as opposed to looking towards it?
My attitude has changed. I actually thought that if, climate change, I wasn't really sure is one of the reasons I started this. I heard all this spin, I was kind of caught in the middle of it. It was like, what is, who's causing this, who isn't causing this? Two things I really learned. One is that climate change is definitely happening. It's not 50 years away and it's not polar bears. It's today, it's yesterday, and it's tomorrow, and it's human beings. The second thing is a lot of people, are pointing to us and saying, oh, you're fearmongers, you're this, you're that, you're blah, 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 blah. Nothing would be more frightening than if tomorrow morning we woke up after traveling all over the world and seeing this destruction and seeing this migration caused by changing climate. Nothing would be more frightening than if we woke up tomorrow morning and the scientists said, you know what? Man's not causing it. Because if man isn't causing it, we can't fix it. The Mayans were wiped out by droughts, a highly civilized civilization. So we really better hope that this is caused by man. because it's really the only chance we have of fixing it and then kind of slowing this destruction down.
Just also on that, I mean, when we started this journey, we certainly had ideas in terms of what we wanted to accomplish. But as we started going down it, we learned so much. And the whole national security angle wasn't anything that we were even aware of until we started talking to Senator John Kerry, until we started talking to the Pentagon experts, and we actually started sitting with these generals and admirals and heard about these contingency plans that they were already formulating and thinking about. So it was a process for us as we went on this journey, a learning process as well, and it really started to kind of weave us where we were taking this film. So.
Yes? Next.
How did you pick the people to interview?
As far as the victims or as far as the...
As far as particularly the hosts in the United States?
We really tried to get everybody we could that we thought could bring, you know, we actually, to be honest with you, we actually tried to bring a lot more Republicans into this. We wanted to bring John McCain in. I'll tell you a really kind of interesting story. In the spring of 2008, we were in Alaska, and I got a call and said, you can interview the governor. And I said, well, what's his name? And then they said, well, you have to go from Anchorage down to Juneau and spend 3 days, and we just didn't have the time. But it would have really been interesting to hear what Sarah Palin had to say and things of that nature. Yes, next.
There's a question up there.
Yes.
What was this maybe the saddest thing you heard or saw?
He's a lot more emotional than I am, so let him.
On the softie on the group here. You really saw the moment when we were in Bangladesh, and you saw the woman talk about her child and how she wasn't able to hold on to her, and how the current took her, and what type of mother lets go of their child. And we are pretty tough guys when we get out there. But after that interview, we both took a good 10 minutes and we walked around and collected our thoughts. And, it's interesting because when you're out there documenting things, you're documenting them, and you want to be in touch with what is going on, but you also have to be a little bit removed. But time and time again, while we were doing this, we were pulled into these people's lives and what they were going through. And the interesting thing, I think, on this, and the Tuluvian fisherman says it the best at the end, I mean, we are all the same. No matter where you are, we have the same hopes, the same dreams. We want to have a family, we want to have shelter, we want to have food, we want to have water. So the thing that was the best, and I'll change your question a little bit, is that I really discovered the human spirit was amazing and was within all of us throughout the world.
I want to say one thing quickly, and we'll take a couple more questions. When we tested this film, and we were kind of going through the beginning stages, it was very academic, and we had so much information that we wanted to get out. And I brought it to Michael, and I told him that I wanted indigenous music or indigenous instruments to be played throughout each country to make it really organic. And then I wanted, the sound of Mother Nature kind of bellowing her voice throughout the film. And I'll let him, tell a little bit about the process of how he did all of that.
Well, thank you. First of all, it's just an honor to be on the stage and to have worked with these guys who really went out there and poured their heart into a project that I still can't believe what they did. And when Michael brought the project to me, for a composer, it's a dream, because it's an opportunity to give some soul and heart to a subject that usually gets a lot of mind and politics and gets all tangled up into this argument. Is it the Earth's fault or is it the people's fault? And to me, it's all a matter of soul, and that's what I tried to bring to this project, was some music that had soul to it, that also kind of, it's funny being in the middle, how this got situated, where I'm standing in between these guys, because I feel a lot of emotion from Justin, and then there's a lot of intensity from Michael. And sometimes the music, I try to kind of pull it together and keep it centered and not interfere, except for when there was a real need to really kind of show that there's a heart and soul to the planet, and there's a heart and soul to the brothers and sisters out there who are suffering.